Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. JJ here, and today we're going to look at each of the 2024 LEGO Harry Potter sets. In this video, I'm going to rank them from worst to first. I'm going to look at my least favorite all the way to my favorite set from Harry Potter that was released in 2024. Please keep in mind, these are my personal views and opinions, so it's very possible that a set that you dislike makes the top of my list, or a set that's very near and dear to your heart gets cut pretty early for making the top. There are various reasons why I made my list. It has to do with the types of sets I like to collect, also as well as sets that are in my collection that may be similar or dissimilar. If you want to stay up to date with LEGO information, click the subscribe button down below, but let's take a look at the last place set for this year. And coming in at 21st place is the September 2024 in-store build of the Hogwarts Express. A little bit bigger than a microscale build, but nonetheless, it looks pretty nice. Not a set that I need for my collection. I'm glad they do these in-store builds, but this is definitely on the lower end of the sets released this year. Similarly, coming in 20th place is this Platform 9 3/4. This was kind of a gift with purchase at Barnes & Noble in August of this year. I actually do like different parts of the set and the idea of, kind of going through the platform. But, the lack of minifigures doesn't really do a lot for me. So I'm happy they do this at Barnes & Noble, but again, not a set that I love or necessarily need in my collection. And coming in at 19th place is this microscale Hagrid's Hut. This was released in the UK. I think it's Smythe's toys. So not something I saw here in the US. I like the microscale build. So this actually tops between the other two sets we saw previously. And again, I like when stores kind of do these kind of exclusive little builds. Nothing too special, but it is fun to include these in the purchases. And coming in at 18th place, and I swear this is not a knock against gift with purchases, but this is Draco in the Forbidden Forest. I actually like this set. I like that the Forbidden Forest wave this year kind of connected together. This is just the least exciting of all the different parts of the Forbidden Forest. A very basic Draco minifigure for $5. Pretty nice set, and it was also a gift with purchase at various points throughout this year. And coming in at 17th, this is our first really proper set, and this is Buckbeak. I actually enjoyed the build, and I really like the inclusion of the little pumpkin patch there with the bird. However, I just don't love these buildable creatures. This one didn't do a ton for me, and for me, it's really the price point that kills these. This was $59.99 in the US, so while the build was fine, the feathers look cool, I like the wings, it's just too much for what I'm getting in my LEGO sets. Coming in 16th is the Flying Ford Anglia, and I will say this actually is different than the Ford Anglia we've seen recently in the last few sets where the set has been released. I like the inclusion of Ron and Harry. Nothing special about their torso printing, and of course Hedwig as well as Ron's rat are nice inclusions. $14.99, so a nice price point, but just not something super new or unique, so I didn't need to add this to my collection. Next up is Aragog in the Forbidden Forest. This set was $19.99, so the price point really helped it out a lot. I actually think this might be my favorite Aragog build that we've ever gotten. I really like the way the legs are jointed and you can pose it in different ways. And Harry and Ron have really cool facial expressions as well as torso printings. But it's a small set, and I just wish this would have been combined with the set we're going to look at in a little bit to make it really a much better set. All in all, it's fine. I picked it up. I like it. Next up, we have Hedwig at 4 Privet Drive. This set was also $19.99. And while this isn't my type of set I like to collect, I prefer minifigure scale sets. I like the idea they're going with this, and I like the creative liberties that LEGO designers take, especially when looking at Harry Potter sets. This is kind of a fun set I think someone who maybe isn't a LEGO collector could really enjoy and display. I like all the little trinkets you see there with the chest on the left, and the owl build for $20 really was pretty nice. Some people might be surprised to see Borgin and Burkes so high on this list, coming in at 13th. It was a gift with purchase. This release when the Burrow came out. I like this set a lot for kind of what it represents. It feels like a very good throwback to early 2001, 2002 LEGO Harry Potter, where it's a store, but it's really just like a random scene or building. You don't have really a structure for the building at all. I like the Floo network play feature, and all in all, I like some of those details we see there on the left as well. So I really like this set and love that Lucius Malfoy minifigure. All right, next up coming in at 12th is the Forbidden Forest Magical Creatures. This set was $29.99 in the US, and I actually really liked it. I like the idea of using these different dark colors for the Forbidden Forest, kind of to really create that scene. And I actually found all the different glow-in-the-dark pieces really neat. I like how this connects to the Aragog build as well as the Draco in the Forbidden Forest. Here you can see it comes with a baby Thestral. We see, of course, Ron and Hermione. It just, all in all, I thought was really neat. I kind of wish they would have had more trees in this build, so it would be more of a forest and not just a few trees. But I think this is one of the better Forbidden Forest sets we've gotten. Next up is the Owlery. This set retailed for $44.99 in the US. And when it first released earlier this year, I actually quite liked it. I really liked the minifigures of Cho and Harry. I thought it was a unique structure we hadn't seen a ton before, and including all the owls was nice. But as we got more Hogwarts Castle builds, I really felt this kind of fell a little bit more flat. I'm still interested to see if and how it connects to sets in the future there on the rock base, but this is just an okay set for me. Coming in 10th place is this year's advent calendar. I actually thought it was a really nice advent calendar. If you watched my reviews of comparing all 6 of the Harry Potter advent calendars, you see this is pretty mid-tier. There's a spoiler alert. We're going to look at the interior pieces for this set. There are some nice minifigures. I really like how each of the 4 houses was represented, and I really like that Choir Ghost minifigure, who I hope stays unique to this set. Some interesting builds with the statues, but all in all, this was a pretty solid entry for the advent calendar. So mid-tier for this wave of LEGO Harry Potter as well in 2024. Next up is Ollivanders and Madame Malkins. This is kind of the play scale expansion to Diagon Alley, and I really like that they're expanding on Diagon Alley, even if it's this more play scale form. This set was $89.99, so a little bit pricier than what I would have wanted to see. I would have liked to see Madame Malkins maybe fleshed out a little bit more, but I think they did a really good job with the interior of Ollivanders, and I love the new sculpted piece for all the different wands. Some cool minifigures, as you can see here, and I really like the color of the torso print for Madame Malkin. Next up is the Potion class coming in at 8th, and I really like this set. It's really neat, kind of the way they create those arches over the windows there in the back. This does have my all-time favorite Snape minifigure they've ever made, so that's cool. And I really like the way that you can fold this up and fit it underneath the Great Hall. And when it's underneath the Great Hall, you can still open it up and kind of play with the Potions classroom. So this is a really great set. It was $39.99, so it wasn't too expensive for all the different detail I think the designers included there with the arches. Next up, coming in at 7th, is the Hogwarts Castle BoatHouse. This set retailed for $37.99, and this is actually one of my favorites kind of small-scale Hogwarts expansion sets in a long time. One reason I think is because we haven't seen a ton of LEGO boathouses. 2, I think this really could stand on its own if you're just reenacting this scene, and I love all the minifigures they included. I really love the build technique they utilized there for kind of the boathouse or the dock where you transition from the water up to the dock itself. Really cool with the ferns and the trees as well. So all in all, a really great set, and I'm happy that this can be connected to the Great Hall. I think this might be the most controversial pick of what I put on my list and how high up it is at number 6. I love the Mandrake build. It is $69.99, so I will preface by saying it is overpriced. I don't love that. But I went into this set really expecting to be disappointed. It doesn't look great necessarily from the pictures. The pot, the leaves, the Mandrake himself, not totally cool, but the enjoyment I had just pulling him in and out of that pot and the way the figure moves, I love this set. As someone who almost exclusively prefers minifigure scale sets, I was shocked at how much I enjoyed the build and the design of the Mandrake. So definitely, if you haven't seen this in person, try and find a way to, or take a look if you can buy it. Mandrake is high up on my list and a set that I hope LEGO continues to kind of expand upon these kind of cool little creatures in the future. Next up is Hagrid's Hut, an unexpected visitor. This set was $74.99 in the US, so a little bit pricey. I do like the ability to open up Hagrid's Hut, something we haven't seen a ton before. And I also like the kind of sculpts we see there for the dragon as well as for Fang. And I like the little doghouse they include there on the left. I also really like the torso printing for Ron, Harry, and Hermione. All in all, this is one of my favorite Hagrid Hut builds. I think they do a really good job creating the use of some of the build techniques so that Hagrid could actually sit in the chair. So it's a really cool set, and I like that they encountered a new scene. Coming in 4th place is the Sorting Hat for $99.99 in the US. I think some people might be surprised this isn't higher up in one of the top 3 slots. I really like this set. I love the talking brick piece that you can be sorted into the house, you can push down, and I think the build looks really, really cool of the Sorting Hat. The expression and shapes the build techniques create. However, this is just in the JJ set. I really prefer minifigure scale sets, which we'll see in the top three. So while this is as good as it could get, it doesn't quite land in the top three for me, only because it's not the type of set I like to collect or add to my collection. But it is a great set, and I highly recommend it. Coming in third place is the collector's edition, The Weasley's Burrow. This set was $259.99 in the US, so it was pretty pricey, one of the more expensive sets this year. The designers did a really good job creating some of the angles and capturing kind of like the fact that this house is held together by magic, which we know to be true for the Weasleys, and it included all of the Weasley minifigures, including Bill and Charlie, which was great to see for the first time. I really like some of the torso prints and some of the scenes and the stickers and the prints that are included with the Floo network and there in the kitchen and with Fred and George in their bedroom. And I love the arm printing for Molly Weasley. So a really cool set. I'm glad that they made it. The thing is, this was really good when it was released in 2019 or 2020. And so it wasn't a set that necessarily needed a huge collector's edition version. And that's why it only makes the top third spot. Coming in at second place is the Triwizard Tournament, The Arrival. This set retailed for $139.99 in the US, and it included what I consider to be an amazing build for the Durmstrang ship, and a pretty good build for the Beauxbaton's carriage there too on the left. Ultimately, what stops this set from coming into first place is the price point given with what you get. I love the Durmstrang ship build. However, I feel like a little bit too much was used to the Beauxbaton's carriage. I would have either liked this to have not included the Beauxbaton's carriage and been a little bit cheaper, or if it stayed at $139.99, not include the Beauxbaton's carriage, which I think was done much better in 2019, and not include the Beauxbaton's carriage, and instead expanded upon on the Durmstrang. All in all, I think it has some really awesome minifigures, as we can see here, and a huge improvement from when we saw the Durmstrang in 2005. And coming in at first place is the Hogwarts Castle Great Hall. This set retails for $199 in the US. And I think one of the reasons that I love this set is not only that it's a really neat build upon that rock structure, really a massive Great Hall with that fleshed out courtyard, but I also like what this set represents. I really think the designers are being very intentional about the future of the Hogwarts Castle system, connecting all these feature sets together. And I think there's just so much promise in how much detailed this set could be. I prefer things in minifigure scale. So the original micro scale Hogwarts Castle that came out like 5 or so years ago was awesome and detailed and great, but I don't really collect sets in that scale. So I'm hoping to see something similar here in my minifigure scale. I also love the ability to move and change where some of the rooms are located, and we see that's going to be true moving forward in the 2025 wave of Lego Harry Potter as well. This is a great set. I think it feels massive. I'm very hopeful to see that the main tower coming out this summer fits that scale. But all in all, my favorite set, as it creates so much promise for the future of Lego Harry Potter, is this year's Great Hall. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of my list and what are some of your favorite and least favorite sets from Lego Harry Potter that released in 2024. If you want to stay updated with Lego leaks, rumors, news, and reviews, hit the subscribe button down below. I will check you all out next time. Thank you.